Hello everyone and welcome to our channel.
If you followed our channel for a while now, you probably know that we love a good Las Vegas steakhouse, but what we don't always love is the high costs associated with them. So in today's video, we're coming at you just minutes away from the Las Vegas Strip, where we'll be checking out a steakhouse with some shockingly reasonable prices, and in their own words, make some pretty good steaks and some really good cocktails.
Established in 2009, Herbs Rye has become famous for their half-off happy hour prices on appetizers, pastas, and steaks. So join us as we showcase everything about Herbs Rye, including drinks and all the food our stomachs can handle. Along the way, we'll provide you with our honest thoughts and candid opinions on whether or not we think Herbs Rye is a must-experience restaurant for the budget-conscious steak enthusiast, or if you're simply better off paying full price elsewhere.
All this and more on today's episode of James and Paul Try It All.
All right, friends, so we've been seated here at Herbs Rye. This place is hopping. Everyone seems like they're having a good time. As soon as we walked in, people were already saying how good the food is. People are giving us recommendations. Staff is super friendly. I want to just point out that one thing I really noticed that I look for when I'm in a restaurant, something that I do when I'm serving tables. If I'm super busy and I see I have a new table in my section, I will stop over and say, hey guys, I'll be right with you. And our server did just that. I hate when I'm sitting there waiting, going, does my server even know if I'm here? So I want to give them a huge props for that. That's the nice little extra touch that I thoroughly appreciate when it comes to serving tables. That being said, we've ordered some drinks. The drinks we've ordered are not on their special, but they do have drink specials like $8 well drinks. Now again, I want to stress that right now, they're doing it from open to close, but that can change at any given point. If you want to check out Herbs Rye, make sure that you probably reach out to them via phone to verify that they're still doing that special. Prior to COVID-19, they were doing it 5 to 8 and midnight to close. But for the time being, it's all night long, baby.
Now, I have to appreciate a place that does bread service here in Las Vegas, and they just brought this bread out to the table. Normally, when we are dining somewhere on the Strip, you have to pay for bread service, and that's just become a new trend. What I appreciate here is that Herbs Rye just brought it out to the table, and it's served here with a butter that is, wow, soft, whipped. Let's give it a bite. It's your standard butter, but the bread is soft, delicious, pillowy.
I will be honest, I don't think it looks like it's anything super special. It looks like bread and butter, but what more can you expect than bread and butter? But Paul is right, that butter is very soft.
It's silky.
It is silky. The bread is very soft too. Let's give it a taste. That's good bread, and best of all, we're not paying for it, so how can I complain? Now, our cocktails have just arrived. I want to say that they have a really extensive menu of classic cocktails. Some of my favorites, including a French 75. If you've never had a French 75, this is going to comprise of champagne, gin, orange curacao, and lemon. Let's give it a taste. That's delightful. The gin's coming through probably the most. In fact, it's a little strong. The champagne is there. It's a dry champagne. The lemon is strong and tart, and the orange curacao adds that extra bit of citrus punch to it. It's not a sweet drink. It's definitely a very kind of dry cocktail, but I really do love them. It's one of my favorite classic cocktails.
Now for my cocktail, I went with something that I just started drinking on previous Vegas trips. This is the Corpse Survivor number 2. Now this is a classic cocktail that is going to consist of gin, Lillet Blanc, triple sec, lemon, and absinthe. Let's take a sip. Cheers. Wow, this kicks you in the teeth with absinthe.
I hate absinthe so much.
They said that the reason that it's called a corpse survivor is because it's supposed to revive you from the dead. I feel like I'm getting revived from the dead.
For our appetizer, we've gone with the spicy mussels. Now this is going to be mussels with a tomato stew, white wine, and spicy chili flakes. So instead of the normal price of $40 for the spicy mussels, it is $22 currently all night long. We love mussels. We've said that over and over on the channel. Let's dig in. I think I'm just going to grab one right here. It's mussels. You got to use your hands so you can open these little guys. That's so good. Wow. Okay, great. No, seriously. The tomato stew is so robust, so tomatoey. It just has a fantastic flavor. There's a subtle sweetness. There's definitely a kick. It's hitting me as I'm speaking. I'm going to go in for a second one here. That's wonderful. The mussels are cooked perfectly. Absolutely fantastic flavor. But again, it is spicy. So if you're spice averse, know that this is going to have a good, strong kick from the Calabrian chili. I love mussels in a tomato broth. That's delicious.
As we walked in, someone just was walking out and told us we have to try these spicy mussels. So I'm excited for this. I love Calabrian chili. If I could just pull this thing out.
Yeah, mussels I feel like are one of those things that's hard to eat delicately.
It really is. And I try my best to mind my manners, but let's give it a bite. That is a robust tomato flavor.
Right?
And yes, you're getting a little bit of spice there from the Calabrian chili. Even at the $40 price, I would pay that for this.
It's a good heaping portion of mussels.
It is a huge portion of mussels. We've eaten elsewhere and paid more than that for less.
Especially back home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so good. The mussel, I'm getting a little bit of briny flavor, but it blends well with the robust tomato sauce. I could literally just come here for cocktails and these mussels. And we still have a steak coming out and pasta.
Alrighty, friends, Paul and I are going to enjoy these mussels, and then we'll be right back once our entrees arrive.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more food after these messages. We want to extend our sincerest thanks to both Darren and Joy for their recent donations to the channel. Thank you so much. We're glad you enjoy the content. If you'd like to support the channel, why not leave a super thanks or donate to our PayPal at the QR code on the screen. Donating to the channel does help us keep bringing you weekly food and travel content, so once again, thank you. We also release weekly food and travel videos, so if you like what you've seen so far, subscribe for more. It's totally free. Engaging with the content helps our video reach more people who watch food and travel content, so come be part of the fun.
All right, everyone. So our mains have come out, but let's start with this linguine and clams. I love the Parmesan on top. I love the clams baked inside, and oh my God, that white wine sauce.
I love linguine and clams. I'm excited to see how theirs holds up.
I know, like I see little bits of like red pepper flakes. They gave us a little plate for the shells.
You did mention that this is a half portion, right?
I did not mention this is a half portion. Now, the portion that you're looking at here on this video is a half portion. They did split it for us. So when you order the linguine and clams, even on the happy hour deal, it is going to be double the size of what we are showing you on this video.
Right, we each have a half portion.
Yeah, let's give it a bite. Now, first off, that is a burst of flavor. The white wine sauce, the butter, garlic, just everything comes together. And to think that this is part of their happy hour deal, this is a steal. James is sitting here behind the camera waiting.
Salivating. I'm not even hungry and I want to eat this so bad right now. Linguine and clams is literally my favorite pasta dish.
Pasta's al dente, has a nice chew to it. Yeah, I can't say anything bad about these.
You know, I just want to point out before I even tuck into this that I have heard so many mixed reviews on Herbs Rye. I've heard a lot of people say it's amazing, but I think I've heard just many people say it's overrated or it's not that good. So far, my experience has been killer. I don't know what these naysayers are talking about. Obviously, taste is the most subjective thing out there. Everyone has different opinions on food. So far, already blown away. There's a lot of clams in here too, so.
So you are definitely getting your value for the price.
Paul's absolutely right. That's delightful. You get that wonderful briny, clammy flavor, garlic, a little bit of chili. Oh my Lanta, this is killer. So far, the clams and the mussels that we've had have been amazing. I would come back for those. We haven't even got to the steak yet. Let's try it with a little bit of the bread. It's gonna sop up some of that delicious broth there. The bread that they serve is so excellent for sopping. It's so soft and just soaks it up. That's really killer. Now, let's move on to the steak. All right, so they sliced the steak for us, which is very kind of them. I'm gonna grab an end piece here. Looks like it's cooked medium rare as we requested. First things first, there's no salt and pepper on the table, which means that this should be seasoned perfectly. Cuts like butter. Give it a tasty taste. That's a good flavor to it. It's not heavily seasoned. It is just seasoned enough. And I appreciate that because sometimes when you go a little heavy with steak, it becomes too salty. I think there's a good salt level to it. I think there's a good chew to it. Is it the softest, most tender rib I've ever had? No. But for $40-something, I'm not going to complain considering we paid $85 to $120 on a ribeye before. This is a killer deal. Excellent. Now we're going to dip it in the chimichurri here. Oh, that chimichurri is so thick. Oh, that looks beautiful. I love a chimichurri. Ooh, that just kicks it up a notch. So let's do one last little dunk in the chimichurri here. There we go. One more bite. Just as delicious as the first bite.
Now, I can already tell that this steak looks like it was cooked perfect medium rare. Cuts through like butter beautifully. Let's give it a bite.
There's a good amount of fat to it too, I've noticed.
A lot of people go crazy on whether there's too much fat, not enough fat on a steak. I think fat equals flavor. It adds a little bit to a steak. You want that fat, you want that marbling on a ribeye.
You just don't want it to be all fat.
You don't want it to be all fat, but I think there's a perfect ratio on this. Let's dip it in that chimichurri here. That chimichurri is perfect. I'm getting a lot of parsley flavor. I'm getting the garlic. I'm getting little bits of the pepper in there. So that kicks the steak up a notch. The steak as is perfect. Now, we also got a side here of garlic mashed potatoes. So I'm excited to dig into these. I mean, normally I would say, oh, we'll be fine without the side, but gotta have a little bit of something with your steak. Let's give these garlic mashed potatoes a bite. I love the butter flavor. They're whipped perfectly. I do want a little more garlic. And that's just my personal preference. And let's be 100% real. When you're getting a side here with your steak, it's supposed to complement it. I think it complements the steak perfectly.
I think you also just like garlic way too much.
I think I do like garlic way too much. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I think they're well balanced. My personal preference, I maybe would like a little more garlic.
Okie dokie artichokes. I'm gonna grab some of the garlic mash here. I will say they melt in your mouth. Super creamy, buttery, delicious. I will agree with Paul, but I think it only needs a smidge more garlic. Like maybe one more clove. That's it. Nothing crazy. I think the salt level is perfect. I would like some pepper, whether it be white pepper, black pepper, just a little bit. Yeah, and a smidge more garlic. But they're delicious mashed potatoes. I have nothing really against them. I'd order them again. My friends, we're gonna work on this steak, this pasta, and if we have room, maybe even some dessert. We'll see you guys shortly. So the steak, the pasta, wonderful, just absolutely fantastic. I'm so stuffed. So despite my better judgment, we ordered dessert. So they have a caramel apple bread pudding. They also offer a creme brulee, classic steakhouse favorite, a mini donut, as well as a skillet cookie, all of which sound fantastic. But a skillet cookie is a skillet cookie. Donuts are fine. I'm a bread pudding guy, especially when it's caramel apple. So let's go. Oh my God, it's so just thick and beautiful and custardy. I cannot wait to taste this. That's unreal. Served with generous scoops of ice cream balls here.
I mean, that's a lot of ice cream.
More than I could possibly eat. Oh man. It's rich, decadent, got some wonderful warming spices. The apples are cooked perfectly. It's nice and soft. Absolutely fantastic bread pudding. And I know a lot about bread pudding. I have made many a bread pudding in my life. In fact, I was a restaurant I was working for years. I was trying to perfect a bread pudding recipe, and I was baking bread pudding every few days, trying different variations, trying to perfect it. And this is amazing. Absolutely killer.
Now, one thing James didn't mention that our server did is that you can get all 4 of their desserts on a platter.
There was no way we could do that.
There's no way we could do that much dessert. So we just decided to go with the bread pudding, and when I heard bread pudding, I thought, okay, cool, it's gonna be a normal bread pudding. No, there's full-on apples in here. Let's give it a bite. That's warm. That's like warm apple pie. It's warm apple pie in bread pudding form. Let's take a bite of the ice cream. A little bit of this bread pudding here. I'm normally not a huge fan of desserts, but this one has converted me. I think it's the apple flavor. Now we're gonna go ahead and finish up our dessert. We'll be back with our final thoughts.
Well, friends, we are back in our hotel room and call us some Thanksgiving turkeys because we are stuffed. But I do want to say that was a killer meal for a killer price.
Once you factor in the half off deals for a lot of the things we ordered, our bill would have originally been around like $220, and it got whittled down to about $160 before tax and tip.
Yeah, so that was the 2 cocktails, the Ribeye Steak, the spicy mussels, the Linguine Clams, and the apple bread pudding, which, my God, what a great way to end the meal. Also, the staff was fantastic. Everyone took great care of us. All in all, Herbs Rye was a vibe. You know, it was I don't want to say a party scene, but there was a good, lively energy in there. They were playing fun music, people were laughing, having a good time. It wasn't stuffy or uptight.
Anytime we go off strip, you can always tell when there's a local vibe because it's just always more chill. It's always more, everyone's just there to have a great time.
Right. And how many steakhouses, at least in your hometown, I know there are not many, there's none in my hometown, how many steakhouses are open until 3 o'clock in the morning? That's a cool touch. And I get it. Vegas is a service-based industry. You got people that are working late that may want to go out for a steak dinner afterwards. And frankly, if we were local, we absolutely would go too. For what it was, I was pretty blown away. Will I say it's the best steakhouse I've been to? No, it probably isn't. Yeah, I mean, I've had better steaks, but you know what? For the price that we paid, that steak was the best $45 steak I've ever had. Guys, we hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please consider hitting that like button, as well as subscribing to the channel if you're not already. That helps tell YouTube that people are engaging with the content and keeps pushing the video out more and more. Don't forget to ring that little bell icon for notifications of whenever a new episode of James and Paul Try It All is released every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Each week, we're gonna bring you more Las Vegas content, as well as content from theme parks, cruises, and beyond. We're basically wherever life takes us. On that note, I'm ready for bed. I want to take off my clothes and I want to go to sleep. So until next week, we'll see you then. Have a great one. Paul, you ready for some chicken and waffles?
I am ready for chicken and waffles.
Mac and cheese?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, I love Roscoe's. I'm so excited that we get to do this before we go home. This is the last day before we head home to Phoenix after a cruise. And I have to say, I'm excited to be here.